Would be your biggest mistake if you keep acting that way. Now, I wish I could put on stuff that was like copyright. But then so do we all. Calm the jazz sound. No copyright music, happy upbeat travel vlog video. Nice. Let's go on an adventure, Charlie. Am I doing the thing? I'm indeed doing the thing. Uh, this is not doing the thing. Where's my happy upbeat travel vlog? Thank you. There's my happy upbeat travel vlog. So, let's get this bad boy back on. And let's get to it. Because I picked up the 2 hours of tab from yesterday. Today can be a tab stream. Ah, nice. Slideshow mode begins. Come on. This should be clearing okay now. The hit points is a little worrying. What a waste of good tab. No, it's not a waste, it's an investment. Let's have some fun with it, Kampf. This isn't an account that's doing anything serious. This ain't a waste, we'll just build up the castle even quicker, it's fine. So, part of the process I'll explain of what happened. I finished up that holokill fishing last night. I proceeded to farm Red Dragon for about an hour. It's got about 750-ish strength in it, right? So I've done quite a bit. Tab for IC is an investment. Yeah, well... Yeah, that's true, Kampf, but you know, let's just roll with it. So yeah, last night I did an hour of Red Dragons or so. Got to about 750 strength. Got pissed off because I got literally one almost acceptable item. I think it was just about one acceptable item. Everything else was unacceptable. It was all grey and it was all shit modifiers. So I then proceeded to use the replay button. Now, I have to admit, Kampf, I've completely broken the account. The account is no longer valid. I completed one wave last night. So now I've actually started here today at 6:21. And then earlier, just before I've started streaming this damn thing, I was testing how Demon Horn 4 was looking, / getting money from it, and I accidentally cleared. So in total, off stream, I have now completed 6 waves. I'm so sorry, the account is now fully invalidated, we've got to start all over again. But anyway, so last night I got to 6:21, so I could use the replay mode because I wanted the huge Wonga from bosses. So my plan was to build up a big stack of money thanks to the boss wave, basically. So most of the units have had a level upgrade by quite a considerable margin. You can now see we've got a full tower. So I've bought in the basic ice tower. The gold tower as well now, by the way, is maxed out. So it now gives the full 10% bonus as it should be. The stone tower I think is level 9. And the shield tower is still level 1, but you know, it's in. So we now have essentially a tower. It no longer looks like a scrabbly couple pieces of wood. But I know, Kampf, I am genuinely sorry that it happened. The one wave I was going to be like, okay, fair enough, I wanted to get loads of money, we're rolling. But then the 5 wave was the complete accident. So I have failed you, I have failed me, I have failed us all. Also, you'll notice that I've stuck the rogue back. I have put him on air priority, and he is now over level 100. So his damage actually isn't too awful. It's not about the money with him necessarily. I've just equalised him out to be as strong as the other units, and his damage is better than, because I stopped upgrading the sniper. I was like, let's just get the rogue where it needs to be. So the rogue is now where it needs to be, and I put the items that I had put on the sniper back on the rogue. So that's where we're currently sitting. So at the moment we can still, as you can see, kind of clear Devil Horn 4 again. This won't last too much longer, unfortunately, though. But that's why we're playing with Tab. Get loads of money, keep the flow going. You can also see that mana is no longer really an issue, because when I was killing the red dragons, I was earning quite a bit of nice money. So I was actually upgrading half elf's accessory, which was what was the one given flat damage. So she hits for nearly 1,000 a hit. So it's major helping the I didn't actually notice the stuff for a second there. So it was actually disappointing progress from a perspective of that I couldn't actually scale the build, but it was decent progress in that I could level the build. If that makes sense? Makes sense in my head. But that's because I know what I mean, because I know what I'm talking about for my own sake. How is this hanging on? Yeah, so overall I'm a little bit disappointed about what was done. We're not going to watch the ad, by the way, screw that. Let's get a couple extra levels here. But yeah, so it was both good and bad progress. I didn't actually put any extra levels into the worm, really. But as you can see, we're actually doing okay without me leveling up the worm too much. Because as I say, the compensator was the half-elf levels. Also, I hope you didn't mind me pinging you guys out in the Discord again. I just thought to myself, fuck it, you guys will probably want me to ping you again. That's why I did it. I almost wasn't actually going to stream today, but after the Renovant went home, because he's been hanging out with me today, I helped him with his front garden. We picked out a nice looking conifer, cute little pot, and we've set him up, and I've helped pot up his new little tree outside the front of his house, which he's effectively called Jonifer Conifer. So we've planted up. Oh, that was slideshowy. Hello, Tan. Welcome back. Yeah. So Tab refers to timed auto battle, which is the process of allowing you to play the game in automatic mode, but without it using the money every time you go for a wave. So you'll just flick through. So we're back in high amount of unit slideshow mode. Devil Horn 4 looks like it's going to be inconsistent though. I think. I mean, it's close to the wire, but man, okay, just not clearable. It is doable, obviously, but I think we need just a little bit of excess damage. Let's get that sorted. Oh, welcome back, Tan. I can't believe that you sat with me yesterday, and it didn't even click that you are the Tan. I was talking about it after you had left. I did do the 50 fish thing I was talking about as the combo before I left yesterday. I did set that as I kept my condition. I kept my word. I definitely didn't lose at 49 and go, fuck it, it's late at night, I want to go to bed. That definitely didn't happen. I definitely got to 50. Don't listen to anything anyone else says. So yeah, we're back in the world of Grow Castle. I did put out a slice and dice video earlier, actually. I 100% believe you probably. Ask Kampf. We got to 49, and I said, "Damn it, that's as close as damn it," and called it. Then sold all them fish that we grabbed, and what happens upon defeat? So with the basic wave mode, you just don't get any completion notation. In this game, if we lose a wave, we can just go again, basically. So that maybe that I'll have to drop to Devil Horn 3, which is the next... Yeah, we're in too much slideshow mode. I'm going to drop it down by 1. 1 should be enough. Removes the resistances, reduces the modifiers just enough, so that we don't just see defeat, because that can be boring. Also, we're never going to get to Kampf's chosen goal of 1,000 waves for today. Because Kampf said, "Are we going to hit 1,000 next time we're on?" And I said, yes, for sure. So I would like to live up to my word. Yeah, the maximization stuff is that's more just to do with quicker skips equals better progress, really. If we have to take it slightly slower, then that's fine. I don't mind alternating between 3 and 4 on the jump boost. I just don't want it to be less for now. Certainly not before we hit you know, say 1,500, 2,000 waves. I want to be able to maintain this. That's the one. More waves, more money, more XP. It all equates up. So defeat. Yeah, defeat in most modes in this game is just the mode stops. In wave mode, you don't get the wave completion. You have to try that wave again. In hell mode, which was the one which was infinite, once you've got your score, once you've lost, you get your score, and it gets submitted to the leaderboards. That's it. And then you can just go again for better scores. If you fight in dragons or dungeons with the dragon statue thing back here, if you don't defeat the dragon, it does nothing. You just don't get its loot, basically. So it's not... The game isn't a punishing one, in a sense of there's no Nuzlocke features or anything. There's no like unit permadeath. There's no real angst. It really is just an infinite void. But this game gets away with it because it's a tower defense game in its most purest form, and I love tower defense games. So it's the only reason why I've still been playing this game for as long as I have. If it wasn't a tower defense game, I probably would have, you know, gone off by now entirely. But yeah, just the two facts being, it's a tower defense game and it has a cool skill tree, I guess, which allows for experimentation. There's a part of the reasons why I keep hold of this game. Because almost everything else I play, Europa Universalis 4, Slay the Spire, Slice and Dice, most of them games have... I do strategy stuff. I like my strategy games. Pokemon, whether it be a real-time strategy, whether it be a RTS or a TBS, I'm a strategy player, really. That doesn't mean I'm always good at them, I love strategy games. Oh yeah, and Civ. EU4 actually falls under the category of real-time with pause, which is an interesting way of doing, which is an interesting strategy format. That's what you also get with, say, Pillars of Eternity. Pillars of Eternity is real-time with pause, for instance. You can also describe it as a turn-based strategy game, because you could pause on each day, but it's not quite as much of a strategy turn-based as Civ, for instance, the one more turn mechanic. You're back. What did you miss? Devilhorn falls a bit too slideshow mode camp and it's inconsistent. So we're on Demonhorn 3. Other than that, you've missed nothing. It's just waving. Oh, Tan. By the way, I've just a question because I'm curious. Was it you who created the idea behind the level 0 item fidget? Because I love it. I think that was the funniest tier 0. The target can use its dice again. Yeah. I liked fidget. I read the fidget one and it made me laugh. Oh yeah, target can do its side again duplicate. I think that's a really funny idea. Definitely my favourite tier 0. Oh, come on, slideshow mode, don't fail Demonhorn 3. Yeah, I love yeah, the T0 items are so good, Tan. I also love paper, adds nothing. But what I came to the conclusion of this morning is, which I think is really interesting, is paper's actually kind of useful now, because with the introduction of the greens, right, you've got all your abilities where you say like, oh, it needs keyword sides and oh, it needs X pip sides and stuff. You can it seems like we can use paper to add the keyword nothing to help for assuaging for the abilities, which I think that's really cool. Honestly, I was thinking about that earlier. So that's pretty funky. So just to I don't know, that's another random thought that popped into my head earlier. So no, I'm glad that you have returned so that we can discuss a few bits. Just out of nothing more than appreciation, I guess. But I was trying to get a few recordings for a few videos earlier, but I have the Will Wheaton curse. So, but even video game dice rolling isn't very kind to me. See if I can figure out a use for fidget spinner. Target uses side again duplicate. I'll get there. I'll get there with fidget spinner. Target uses side again duplicate. Oh, no, there's not an enemy that uses a slow mechanic, is there? I will find something for fidget spinner, but fidget spinner is my favourite as a concept, as I say. But yeah, I have Will Wheaton curse, so don't know how much you've seen of. I don't know if you ever have seen Will Wheaton series, just called Tabletop. He plays all kinds of board games with various guests and people, and it's amazing, right? And he is a very tactile player. He has ideas in his head, they're amazing. And then he sits down at the table and rolls like a 2 and a 1. He's got like bad. He kind of has some sort of weird. If he sat down and played Slice and Dice, he'd be also rolling blanks everywhere. So I kind of suffer the suffer the Will Wheaton curse, annoyingly. And it's not even in just in Slice and Dice either. I hosted a one-shot for my friends for Dungeons and Dragons. It was dinosaur based, right? So I had essentially it was Utahraptors, which was a form of Velociraptor, because you know the claw. Oh, I can list off more dinosaur facts later, but it was like 10 Velociraptors versus like 8 Triceratopses, right? I rolled all 18 dice. I got one roll above a 10. That's my kind of luck. Literally, I sat there. So I sort of had to incorporate. I have a DM failing too many dice roll strategy now. Of when my characters or whatever roll a bad dice, and I'm at the table describing everyone's attacks, I'll describe it that they pull out a rubber noodle, and they whack each other with a like a foam pool noodle. That's like my backup damage thing. So yeah, I've literally had to incorporate that just from how bad my rolls are. I mean, to be fair, it seems off topic based on the game, but honestly, this is just kind of doing its thing. We can just sit here and, converse, I guess. Oh, so going back to me talking about Utahraptors and Raptors and Velociraptors. The dinosaur. Well, the thing is when you hear raptor, what it refers to is the claw. So, Velociraptors, Utahraptors, Microraptors, so on and so forth, all had the one big curved claw. That's what defined a raptor. You might have heard the term raptorial, which is you still have modern day birds which are raptors. So I believe hawks and falcons belong in the raptor family, which is where you might hear the description of their claws being raptorial, because they have the big curved claw, basically. So there you go. That's the tidbit for now. Pipe potatoes, you should leave a poo noodle at home. No, unfortunately not. One of the other greatest one-shots I ran for my brother-in-law and my sister. They went to a Cave Mysterio, right? So Cave Mysterio. They fought. Oh God, what did I make them fight? They went into this cave. They went into this like mini cave within the Cave Mysterio, and I said, the stones are cold. You see where this is going? Probably. So basically, I made their characters called. They were parodies of. What did I have? I had someone called India, and the other one was called Hot Scott. So basically, they were playing as WWE fighters, going into Cave Mysterio, so Rey Mysterio, in a room with Stone Cold Steve Austin stuff. And then the final boss was Rocktopus. My brother-in-law's got a 3D printer, and last year as a birthday gift, he gave me a 3D printed Rocktopus. I used that in the one-shot, and so they had a whole wrestling-themed one-shot. It was brilliant. I stuck on the Rock's theme tune and everything. That was I think that was probably one of my favourite to date one-shots for the creativity of it. But we haven't had too many Dungeons and Dragons one-shots lately, so my D&D creative flow is kind of not there currently. I'm sure we'll get back into the swing of things when my sister's ready to play more again. But I have had the other members of the party of my last one shot, which was a pirate one, to continue the pirate series. So, yeah. Oh, Kampf. We were discussing the Hell Mode season stuff, and I did get exactly the same red crystals as last season Kampf. So with an extra bit of score, I still got the same rank. So, once again, the thanks is all to you, buddy, for the assistance and help with it all. I once again show my appreciation. Eventually I'll be able to get things and stuff on the account. We've got a few million. It might be worth... Thanks, Tan, for stopping by. Heart sending your way, because I'm really crap at writing messages sometimes. But your presence is always appreciated. Thank you very much. Catch you another time, hopefully. If not, enjoy the rest of your day. Catch you another time, maybe. But yeah, thanks, Kampf. As I say, I pretty much wouldn't have bothered looking further into it if it wasn't for your contributions, honestly. I might have gone, screw this. But with all the stuff you were telling me, Kampf, that's why. Oh no! Is that an Edo? No way. Hello, Edo. Nice to see you. How's things been? Nice to hear from you. It's been a few months now. Damn. Crazy how time flies. Welcome to an account that's not... How do I describe this account? It's not really doing anything, it's just for the fun of it. So Kampf has set an arbitrary goal of let's get to 1,000 waves a season. So we're going for it. And hello Avery as well. Avery Petro. Hello, welcome to Grow Castle. Hi. You know what? Give me 2 highs, I'll give you 2 highs back. So yeah, Edo, this account is just, well, you can see, we're not even at 1,000 waves yet. We're just, I mean, that's what today's for. Today's for getting 1,000 waves. This account is running somewhere between... You're funny, Avery. I like it. The backwards and forwards highs here has reminded me of... I've literally just watched the episode of The Office where they go out in pairs. I'm still playing actively. Yeah, Edo. I've got my other account right now is waving. So is my secondary. I can't see because it's really tiny on my screen, but is that a JoJo icon, Avery? If so, hell yes. So yeah, I play actively, Edo. My other account's still needing to build back up. I basically destroyed the account, i.e. I got really high wave, but I had really low levels, so I'm having to rebuild that back up to run Devilhorn better. This account though is fresh new. This is a fresh account that's just gonna be only when I'm streaming. If this account starts to get recognition, I might volunteer my contributions to other guilds that want to push. For now, this is in just the refuge. What about Ben and Mountain? Yes, Ben is amazing at the moment. I mean, he's always awesome anyway, but Ben at the moment is killing it. And Mountain, well, I think. Oh, thank you for the reminder. I have a image I need to share into our Discord. Thanks for the reminder. But yes, Mountain's just Mountain. Honestly, I don't think I need to describe to you any further. You know. He just destroys everything he touches. In terms of Grow Castle. He got the phones XD. Indeed. But you know what? He's put a lot of ducats into the game, so I'm glad for his sake, basically it's the equivalent of his investment. His investment within the game is helping pay off his efforts, also his efforts, because he's still, doing stuff, but there's some weeks where he'll say in the Discord, am I still running? Because I haven't looked at my phone in like a week and a half, and you're like, and then you think, this motherfucker hasn't played the game in like 2 weeks, and he's doing better than literally everyone ever. Which is just incredible, honestly. Lave is also doing a really good job as well. Lave's pretty much caught up to my waves now, so he's killing it. I'm failing, but my ice ult is actually doing pretty well, considering it's meant to just be a floater account. It literally hasn't failed a single wave in like literally a couple months now. Everyone's still playing the game, yeah. Are you, Edo, or are you out of the game now? I would understand. Yeah, you just couldn't continue. Yeah, you know what? It's understandable. It is. I think the game has a sense of inevitability, doesn't it? When you think about it. Let's try running back. Let's try going into slideshow mode and see if we can still clear. Give it another shot. Also, yes, I'm wasting tab for the purpose of content. This is the weekly free stuff, so I don't really care, honestly. You left the game the same day you left the guild. Ah, so that was just your way of just shoo. Then that's understandable. Also, yes, it looks like we're kind of able to clear Devil Horn for kind of okay. And that's why I said kind of okay, because then a couple units still managed to crash in and take out half the castle. You joined for a day, you saw what it was like, and then you realised what's going on and bailed. You know what? Don't blame you. But yeah, the game has its senses of the game is don't get me wrong, it is fun, but I did explain in my tier list video, it's kind of just a bit, yeah, in moments. You know what I mean. Sometimes it feels like the grind isn't worth it. The item grind is as annoying as the Genshin Impact relic grind. I grinded for ages in all the domains for Genshin Impact, just so my Eula can get like 1% additional damage and like 2% additional crit chance. It's kind of the same with this game. You farm hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of dragons for the sake of one item that boosts you by like the smidgenest modifier. It's a little bit tedious. Yeah, boring also covers it in a sense, but I think the word tedious springs to mind. Gotta go, but good luck. Ah, thanks, Edo. You know what? It's great to see you back again, buddy. So hearts are for you, buddy. It's nice to see that you're still out there doing your stuff. So appreciate the your presence. The honor and presence is all mine. No, I think we're back to Devil Horn 4. I think we had a fluke win, honestly. So I think it will have to drop after regardless of this outcome. Yeah, I think this is a drop regardless of outcome, unfortunately. As explained before, no, I will not. Actually, before we jump into this, one, I forgot to change the Devil Horn like I actually said I would, and two, let's get the stone base up. Also, having the ability to upgrade the mana regen has been kind of nice. Definitely been a help on the mana situation. I do quite like the little heart function with the emotes on it. There's been a few times where I've sat in the Sabaton live stream. Talking to a couple people in there. I think there's someone in there called, what are they called? Alana? They seem pretty cool. But I like pressing the button and then just spamming !love because, you know, all Sabaton songs rock. Well, actually no, they don't, they're power metal. But that's not the point. If I could, I would 100% stick on like Sabaton or King's Convenience or King Crimson or something on these Broadcastle streams, but copyright and stuff. But there you go. Yeah, this isn't too bad. This one is a playlist called... Oh, it's finished, actually. Literally just as you said, you like it. It was called Background Music Happy Upbeat Travel Vlog. Let's see here. Energetic, happy, upbeat music to work, study, workout. Yep. Upbeat pop.
You don't have to be a Capital One customer to use our CreditWise tool to get tips on how you could improve your credit score. It's free to use.
I like Philomena Kunk.
Search Capital One CreditWise.
She's great.
To see your score today.
Kunk on Earth is such a good mockumentary series. That was the lady in the previous ad, by the way. That's the only reason why I mentioned it, Kampf. And also Philomena Kunk, I'm fairly certain is her stage name. But yeah, that was her in the first ad that just played. So, only reason for my mentioning. Otherwise I wouldn't bother. Or something. Yeah, Kampf. That is definitely a recommendation. Kunk on Earth. Honestly, it's so funny. It's really well done. Because it's the premise of it. Of course, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the premise is she's talking about quite well-known points of history. So it's really obvious stuff, and it's all put in such a way that you know it's satire. It's just such a genius concept. It really is. And I, for one, love it. And also because of my enjoyment for documentaries, I understand the... how do I put this? I understand the likeness of... Oh! I've just found the use for... I think I've just realised the use for fidget spinner. Oh well. But yeah, it's so to the nail. Real good. Really enjoy it. I stopped watching the Cleopatra documentary. Actually, I was watching the Cleopatra documentary and then I haven't seen it in a few weeks. But I might flick back onto it. The one I wanted to watch is the Alexander the Great one, but I've heard that that's not... Apparently, it sort of goes, oh yeah, he did a lot of stuff in history, but also, did you know he might have been gay? And then it's like, well, no shit, he was Greek. But apparently the documentary is quite focused on Alexander the Great's sexuality instead of what the man was able to accomplish, which I think is. I mean, I need to see the documentary for myself. So I'll come to my own conclusion. But I hope that what I've heard isn't as bad as what I've heard. You don't think you want to give the Cleopatra one a try? No. If you, honestly, I know. I mean, the Cleopatra one's interesting. Don't get me wrong. But what I found more interesting is how, because I watched Cleopatra, I've already watched the Roman Empire documentary so many times over, so I know it pretty well. I liked the comparison for how Roman Empire series did Cleopatra over the Cleopatra documentary itself. It's very weird how of what I'm trying to say, but I think it was more interesting how the Roman Empire documentary put a more sort of laser focused version of Cleopatra in there, and it was just as enjoyable as the full documentary of Cleopatra. He was trying to click the button so hard. Hopefully he doesn't super slideshow again and it just clears. But on Netflix, if you're going to watch some of the documentaries, Roman Empire 100%, narrated by Sean Bean. For once, he lives and everyone else dies around him because he's the narrator. He's not a character that dies or anything. That's brilliant. I love the person that played Commodus as well. Their portrayal of Commodus was so good. The pirate documentary, really good. I love the Age of War Battle for Japan documentary series. It doesn't feel like they care about history and I don't trust them to get stuff correct. So, see, the thing is that when it comes to Netflix original stuff, I actually really rate their docu-series. Some of it's a little out of whack. There's a few corrections on, for instance, the documentary with Morgan Freeman being the narrator. I can't remember what it's called. Life on Our Planet, I think it's called. There's a few bits where I had, in my head, I was going, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not right. But other than that, I think it's pretty well done. And of course, though, you always have to take everything with a pinch of salt. But, yeah. The Netflix adaptation of Death Note, though, is one of the worst things Netflix did. I literally was watching it in an almost horrid disbelief. Like, if you've seen Death Note Kampf, you'll know Light Yagami is... We talked about Light Yagami yesterday, I could have sworn. So, yeah, Light being a really awesome character. He's very rational, he's very calculative. And in the film... And they rename him, by the way, they don't keep his name of Light Yagami. They name him... Oh, it's like... Light... He's given the name of, like... Light Smith or something. It's a very generic. Light Turner, that's right, thank you. You knew what I was going for. Oh my god, Light Turner. Such a scaredy cat. He sees Ryuk, gets scared shitless, breaks half the stuff in the chemistry room. What's up with that? That's not the Light that we know and love. However, the guy that played L for that film was exceptional, I think. I think that L was the shining light in a beacon of crap. He did a really good job. But all the changes, and basically what happened was they kind of tried to westernize Death Note. and I didn't quite appreciate that in a sense. I thought, well, what's the point of doing that? But there we go. So today, Kampf will definitely be hitting your imposed goal of 1,000 waves here. I have no doubt in my mind. So if there's anything particularly you wanted to talk about, we can. Oh, speaking about adaptations, live action adaptations, what about Scarlett Johansson as Major Makoto for Ghost in the Shell from a few years back? The Bleach adaptation on Netflix is pretty crap, but I really enjoyed Scarlett Johansson as Major Makoto for Ghost in the Shell. What actually hyped me up with Ghost in the Shell is if you listen to the trailer for Ghost in the Shell, there was a copy, no, not a copy, sorry, the word is cover for music, a cover of the song Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode, but it was covered by an artist called The Key Theory, and The Key Theory's cover of Enjoy the Silence is so good. I mean, I like the song Enjoy the Silence anyway, but the cover is really good. It's got a good sense of atmosphere. It's got a bit more. It's got some flesh to it, you know. So yeah, Ghost in the Shell 1. I recommend watching just because Scarlett Johansson. Honestly, it's not the best one-to-one, but it's certainly not awful. It's worth a watch. As in, you'd watch it literally once just to get the feel for it. Is what I reckon. It's what I would say. And the film adaptation we never did get was Halo. Peter Jackson was going to take the rights for Halo, and he was going to make a film series with it. Of course, now we've had... No, sorry, not Peter Jackson. Actually, yeah, I think it was Peter Jackson. It was either James Cameron or Peter Jackson, but I'm fairly certain it's Peter Jackson. But of course, with Halo, you've got the series on Paramount. Or Paramount Plus. Because it was originally going to show on... Over here in the UK, we've got... Literally, Channel 5 is just called Channel 5. So... Paramount Plus owns Paramount owned Channel 5, I believe. So they were premiering it over here for the first episode on Channel 5, and the rest of it's on as a part of the Paramount Plus subscription. I couldn't say more than that. I don't know much more. I'm just telling you what I can do. Halo is actually a really good series. Unfortunately, the video games don't even tell the whole story either. So there's a lot of novels about Halo. So really, the people that understand the Halo series the best are those that have played all the games and read all the books. But personally, for me, I enjoyed Halo Reach the most, from a story perspective. I think Halo Reach did a great job. I think the Lara Croft films were a bit of a drab. I never really hyped about Angelina Jolie, but I don't think that the Lara Croft Tomb Raider film adaptations were great. But what is cool about Lara Croft is there was a collaboration with Lucozade. So you've got bottles of Lucozade called Larazade. And that was a promotion for when the first Tomb Raider film came out. And then they proceeded to make a new batch of Larazade a few years ago when Legend of the Tomb Raider came out, I think. That's kind of cool. Also, do you know there's been about 12, 13 models for Lara Croft? As in, they model Lara Croft off somebody in real life. and the person that modeled, and there's been about 13 people that they've modelled Lara Croft off, which is really cool. So it's like Five Nights at Freddy's. But the thing with FNAF is that I think that what the community theories have shaped how Scott Cawthon presents a narrative. For instance, just a small example, Golden Freddy was dubbed Golden Freddy by Markiplier. He was actually just called Golden Bear, but it was Markiplier that gave him the name Golden Freddy. I'm not trying to discredit Scott Cawthon, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he had some ideas in his head, but I bet you he heard some gaming theory perspectives from people and went, I like that one. I like this one. That sounds good, but let's twist this a little. And I bet you he picked out certain events to push the story along. I mean, I would if I was him. 100%. People are helping you write the story. And they've got some really good ideas. So, you know, what's wrong with a little contribution into the narrative? That's all I'm saying. We're not doing an ad. Let's spend a little bit of this money. I want to say a little bit of this money. Of course, I mean all of it. We're running tab right now. Let's get the little bit of damage on. I know I'm doing it individually. I should be doing it all together. And then going back to the Larazade Lucozade thing, Lucozade is actually owned and created by a company called GlaxoSmithKline. GlaxoSmithKline, are actually like they deal with medicines and pharmaceuticals, and it's called Lucozade because it's literally a drink filled with glucose to help. Initially, it was released to help diabetic people. It was to help for I can never remember if it's hyperglycemia or hypoglycemia. One is too much sugar and one's not enough sugar. But for people that had not enough sugar, I think that's hypoglycemic. So Lucozade is actually originally made as a drink to help diabetic people when they have hypoglycemic attacks. So there you go. Yeah, you know what? I'll happily agree with what you're saying there. Honestly. Yeah. But Five Nights at Freddy's, the thing with Five Nights at Freddy's is because I'm not a person that really likes playing scary games, jump scare games, horror games, right? I haven't played Five Nights at Freddy's and I don't think I ever will. But watching videos on it is really interesting to me. I'll happily enjoy. I've gone back a couple times over various bits of, say, Markiplier playing it. I've watched. There's another guy who's got some really cool videos on the game called, I think it's called Ninja Chicken 42, and they've got some really good videos on the game. Also, I do kind of like listening to some of the lore stuff. I don't have full knowledge. I think I used to watch a lot of the lore videos as they were coming out, up to about Pizzeria Simulator. So all the games before that. So the first four, I was quite in tune with the lore. I think it's a very interesting conversation, honestly. Well, that was Super Slideshow. Come on, get out of the slideshow hellhole. Right, I think we might have to drop down another Demon Horn level, honestly, for current standings, just due to what we're experiencing here, which is unfortunate, but sometimes it's a necessary evil. Ouch. Yeah, that was extreme sideshow mode. I don't think we can clear... We can't clear Devil Horn 3 in extreme sideshow mode. I mean, we've made, what, 250 waves nearly progress today? So we've gone for an extra third so far. So it may just be that we've got slight damage fall off in amongst more enemies spawning in. That's going to be my guess on it all. But actually, while Edo reminded me about Mountain, I'll sort out the stuff that I'm going to send into the Discord later. Just because there was something I wanted Mountain to see. 15% off on sports and outdoors from Amazon. Wow. Great. Just what I don't need right now. I promise you, Kampf, it's not interesting. I'm making it sound... I mean, I can just tell you what it is if you want. Basically, I'm probably going to put it up right now. So, it's basically there's a retail chain that's over here in the UK. I don't know if it's in Germany, but it's literally called Mountain Warehouse. Spoilers. So I'm literally just going to tag. I'm literally going to put the picture up. I mean, it's just something I hadn't considered until today, because me and the Renovant were out at a garden centre near ours. We were buying up. We bought him a conifer tree, and he's going to plant it outside his house. So, he bought a little plant pot, and me and him potted it together. And then he came round and had lunch at mine. So I've been hanging out with the Renovant from about 10 o'clock through to about 2:30 today, because he then had a little play around on a couple of games on my laptop. Still going, right? Yep, good. Awesome. In the meantime... I'm just going to do the thing. Screen cap, copy... This is such the most underwhelming thing ever, but if I go I pung it in staff chat, and I'm just going to react to the same with my usual mountain emote. It's literally that anticlimactic, but it's a thought I had. That's all. Yeah, so Mountain Warehouse is basically a outdoor apparel place. So it specialises in stuff like hiking boots and, you know, a few bits of PPE. They've got like various outdoor kits, backpacks, and you know, the like. So it just sort of remind me that's something I was gonna mention to him. It's an okay place. I've had a couple bits from Mountain Warehouse, but it's not my go-to at all. Although I'm not really a brand loyalty person either, so I don't know what I'm trying to say, I guess. How's about we spend the gold and see if we can go back up to Devil Horn 4? Looks like we're getting slightly less slideshowy. Cursing myself with them words. I'm not going to use the ads as mentioned. The ads scare the life out of me, so let's not do it. Okay, it's not quite that extreme, but you get the sentiment. Yeah, Demon Horn 3 would be nice to get back up. Right, so maximum physical damage modifier, extra on the castle. Would be nice to have again. I don't think we necessarily lost it. I think it's a frame rate point of view. It's a losing it when the game is super laggy, as opposed to a. Well, my sniper does less damage than my rogue now. I get what you're saying, but the rogue needs to be leveled up. How about we do a few more waves, and then I'll re-level up the sniper. Then we can have the sniper back for you. I don't mind either way. If you want to see sniper, we can put sniper in. As I say though, it will need to be that the rogue is the one that's sort of staying in the main build. Because it will help eventually. Like, properly eventually. No, we're back to not lagging and clearing Demon Horn 3. That's good. We're still kind of running it. Oh yeah, everything needs to be leveled, really. I don't discredit your point. Everything's at level 100 so far, so we're running about a 0.11 at the moment for most units in this build across the board. Maybe try to phase out the elf. I like to have a unit that heals though. And I'll take the high elf, half elf before the smith. Exactly. Demon Horn 3 Gab without healer is kind of scuffed. That's why I want to keep the half elf. Early game, I reckon I'll put the. What I'll do is, so that it's got the efficacy of Dark Elf, I might put a point or two into the hit points from stealing off the elf node attack speed. We'll see. Speaking of, haven't we got a skill point to spend? Fairly certain there's a skill point to spend in here somewhere. There was a skill point to spend in there somewhere. Yeah, for Gab, hero slot is kind of very useful. I agree. I definitely don't disagree. I mean, Kampf, the worst comes to worst, we absolutely transition off Gab in its entirety, and we load up an ice build or something. Or make this a poison build. Ideally, I'd like to keep it as Gab though. Or we drop down to Fab, right? We go free auto battle, and then, as I say, run ice build. Ice build has no mana. It's incredible, and it's fun. So, I don't know. For now, I'm happy keeping it as what it is at, if I'm honest. And I do think it's just about. Do you think we should transition this into a poison build? Maybe go for the thief instead. Maybe go for the thief instead of the rogue. Sorry, go for the rogue instead of the thief. As in, swap it to the other version of itself. Could do something like that. Get Voodoo, get Sarah, and we could go that route. interesting point of view. Maybe that's something I will consider, and I can change the build. The build doesn't have to be as we see it. Also, with a build that's not Gab, we wouldn't need the Orc Horn. Right? We could literally go Fab, remove the Alchemist, remove the Orc to clear slightly quicker, and we could make it like a summon poison build and have Alice and Dorothy or whatever in. And then just get lots of poison stack stuff. That could be a thing. I could double the poison community. I have always joked around and said that's what I would do with my ult. But I'm keeping that. I'm keeping Scimitar as being kept as the ice fab build, really. So yeah, maybe I might consider. Not quite yet. Not quite yet, but we could consider a build swap partway through. I'd get rid of the military band. I'd get rid of the alchemist. I'd get rid of the orc. I could swap angels to Dorothy. We can get Sarah. We can keep the Dark Bone Master for boss damage and go that way. I believe Macron is running all the witches, so we could swap this. Well, slingers would be poison, so we'd keep poison slingers. We could remove the giants and replace them with a witch. So we've got 4 or 5 flexi spots. You do raise a good point. Or you do raise a good thought, I should say. And then I could make the account mainly waving while streaming, and then off stream I can focus on. Yeah, that's why I also mentioned Sarah. But yes, we will need Sarah. But I could make the build a poison, and then in stream time we can do waving, and then out of stream I can focus on colonies and infinite colonies, and build this account up. Sorry, Kampf. I should have spoke up clearer as well, and I didn't. And that sounded a bit sharp in my words. I didn't mean it to sound like, yeah, I already said that. Jesus, duh. Sorry. That's not my intentions. I promise. So yeah, with the poison stuff, you definitely make a good point, and you put a good think box in the whole tank. I also quite like Voodoo. I think Voodoo's kind of a good unit, and that it's underrated for what it is. I'm not saying it's amazing, I'm just saying it's better than what I think it's presented as. It's also got some really interesting nodes. Me and you are both like, no, it's on me, no, it's on me, no, it's on me. It doesn't matter. Neither of us meant anything negative, so it doesn't matter, does it? It's all good. Everything is good in the good. We're just having a discussion of build ideas. I do think a poison idea could be fun. I'd still keep the... I think I'd still keep the snowball on. Right? The snowball would stay. I don't think I'd want I think the poison cannon would replace the gold tower temporarily. The base, of course, would become the poison tower. I don't know. I've sort of half put together a poison build in my head before. I didn't consult Macron, the one and only master of poison. I just had some. I had some build crafting ideas in my head. Snowcastle doesn't do anything about the ice tree. What, does it not slow still? If it slows units down, it still does something. But if it's to the point of basic non-existence, then fair enough. I mean, we could always swap this ice tower here into poison tower already, because I'm fairly certain that poison as an effect drops enemy defense anyway. It's just enhanced with skill tree stuff. So it's because of the slow node in the ice tree. Oh, I thought it was because it automatically slowed to begin with. If it doesn't automatically slow to begin with, then I should reconsider what we're doing here. I only thought that was just a perk thing that it automatically did, rather than needing a node to slow. So yeah, I'd replace in that case then, we could replace the gold tower with the ballista tower. Maybe I make up a mock, because I'm never going to do hell mode on this build, as I say, only because I don't want to take anybody's top 300. Right, so I can use slot 5 as our backup poison build that I'll slowly integrate as part of the system. I think that could be an idea. I think you're right. Maybe we do set up a poison build, huh? No ad, go away. So let's have a look at this. It would look something like Sarah. Let's keep it for now as if we're... Right, we only switch to poison if Gab doesn't work out. Well, let's put together something of what it could maybe look like. I still think the idea of looking at it and play around with it is fun. And then we've got the setup as a backup. And we just have to maybe pump some levels in. Then, what? Tree? With... Well, let's select crystal tree. It doesn't really matter right now. And then here would probably be the thornworm. It is a poison after all. And then this would be something like either no town archers or town archers with the poison. Probably with the poison early game, I imagine. Then of course it would look something like this, and probably summoned unit damage, I assume. If this was, well, this wouldn't need the... Wow, you can, if I scroll like this, it moves it from the position of my mouse into the slots. Cool. But this is only, this wouldn't need the Frozen Tower of the Trophy because this wouldn't be used as part of a Gab build or tab. So it would look something like Poison Castle, Shield, and Ballista, I think is how we'd flesh it out. Of course, with for now it'd be Hero and Archer Guild. Again, this isn't what we're actually going to use, but let's just set it in as a theory crafted idea. Actually, it'd probably look something like this for now, if I was to run it. Oh, sorry. Kampf, I'm an idiot. Yes, of course. Sorry. I was thinking Frozen Castle bit. You meant the... Fucking idiot. You meant this. Sorry. Duh. Dirt mode engage. So sorry. It's not... I was paying attention to what you said, but I didn't listen to you, did I? Well, what's this doing? Go away, BlueStacks. Why are you asking me to look at crap? I don't care. Go away. Beaumont's at the top. Get to it. So it looks something like... Then let's assume the white mage would sit here. Did it not put the thing in? yeah, maybe sharp arrow for the crit. You raise a good point. But we'd be looking at something like... Actually, the poison cloud would go here. Then Slinger with the correct promo when it eventually happens. All... Actually, no. I'm assuming you're like me in that when you have the witches, all the witches have to go along the same row. I'm assuming you have a similar sort of compulsion. And in order of where they appear in the list. Or alphabetical. Then we'd have maybe the assassin, maybe the flying orc. Flying orc would take care of flying and be poisoned. There's potential for succubus. You could also make the argument that instead of you could argue that instead of the voodoo, that dark necromancer could sit in that spot, but also quicker poison clouds wouldn't be a thing. I genuinely do not know what units Macron uses necessarily. I know he uses Sara, of course, but I haven't actually ever truly looked at what if Macron ever sends his builds in pictures, so I couldn't say. This is what I would do if I was putting it together. It'd be this rogue, not the left path. It'd be the right path. Then final unit would be Chrono, of course. So it'd look something like this. This is if I was to build a poison deck, this is how we'd have it, I think. And then of course we just chuck in the start of poison, and that's where I would proceed. So that's potential for a... Do we need to replace Voodoo? I mean, again, in that spot it could be Dark Necro, but I quite like the overall thing. I mean, again, that's something that we can look at a future time if we feel like it's needed. But I would put what we've done there at about right. Down, 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 down. We've got skill points. Let's spend some of those. And let's just kick back. So yeah, it'd pretty much be how I have it set up in my head, with maybe the position of Voodoo and Dark Necro swapped. I don't think the Dark Assassin debuff is overly worrying. If anything, we could replace the Voodoo with Dark Assassin, but I quite like the Voodoo being there, honestly. The only problem is that it also causes a lot of particle effects on the screen, which does slow the operation down. Oh, it's trying to lock my mouse in the bloody blue stacks again. I'll just tab out. Lave said, like, that's... That Mountain was already talking about Mountain Warehouse, but I must have missed a bit in chat where he mentioned it. But yeah. For now though, we may eventually replace Gab, but I think Tab Gab here should work, quite honestly. I think we should be mostly content. What do you reckon? We use the whole tab this stream? Assume till we run out of tab? Could be a thing. And then I'll probably... So, as what we said, when the tab runs out, I'm going to finish stream, roughly, approximately. Then I'm going to try and get some Slay the Spire, Slice and Dice videos covered. Maybe. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna set a game plan here. We're hitting 1,000 this stream, so we've achieved your. We're gonna achieve your goal, Camp, that you've requested. So that means we've essentially almost doubling our total wave output in this one go. Pretty nice, honestly. Now, I think we dare risk an attempt. Macrom has bishop instead of voodoo. Understandable. Actually. Okay. Then in that case, we would swap the position of Dark Necro, so it would look something like this. But does Macrom also have a 13th slot though? I'm assuming Macrom has a 13th slot. But if you're saying that this is the core aspect, then that's good. Also has Druid and Blue Defender. Interesting. Let's assume that the Blue Defender is 13th slot for the purposes of what we're doing. So maybe swap something out for the Druid? Swap DBM and Bishop. What, we get rid of the or do you just mean in positionings? Ah, so DBM's still in the build. But Bishop gets the quicker cooldowns. Yeah. For now. I've had it on my account though, where I've had the duration of the Bishop buff be longer than the cooldown. So we will hit that point eventually at some point, I'm sure. You think we need the Bishop double proc? Fair enough. You know what? Versus what the DBM buff is, I think you're right that doubling up the Bishop buff would be better anyway. So I accept what you're saying in its entirety, and I agree with it. I didn't get to less than 5 seconds cooldown. I increased his skill duration, I think. There was a way I got it on my main account to be able to the buff isn't 5 seconds, is it? The buff is 5 seconds. Oh, it's because 10%, sorry. But with the 12 second, you can have the Bishop. So it wasn't permanent, but you could have the Bishop at a longer cooldown than the Necromancer. So the Necromancer proc kicks in the Bishop and basically removes the remaining time. So it's almost there. Sorry, you're right. I don't think I quite had it, but I was very close to having it. I also at one point had a double cooldown staff on my Bishop because I was testing it. That was a while ago. Yes. Music stopped, continue playing. Let's have a look here. Where else we got? Let's see what this is. This doesn't say what kind of music this is. I don't know what I mean at this point, Kampf, to be fair, mate. I've definitely made the Bishop's cooldown show less than 10 seconds at some point when I had the correct items on. I mean, the priority then was the items got shunted over to more important units, but I was messing around with how short I could make the cooldown. It was pretty short. And like I mentioned, you can get 4 skill durations on Bishop. And then you've essentially added 0.8 seconds on there. Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. Let's see if we can do this again, shall we? Oh, somebody's messaged me. difficult. Okay, no, so worth a shot. It doesn't change the arbitrage of us clearing the 1000 gap though. I think I managed to get less than 10 seconds just with 2 sets of double cooldown. I think I got like 9.8 with 2 double cooldown items. But again, I might be misremembering Kampf. It was a while ago since I looked at finagling it, and I didn't have it on for long. It was more of a play around than it was a serious thing. So I still think we keep on the route of this Gab build for a while. But what I'll do is in the background I'll probably level up the appropriate units for a poison build. So we could maybe do a... You know what? What I could do, Kampf, is I could level up a whole bunch of stuff, have a whole different bunch of builds, and we could have streams with different build types. And we can do like build showcases maybe. How cool would that be as an idea? Go upstream one day, run a physical build, like the Gab build. Another day run a... I mean, I'd showcase everything other than physical summon. Physical summon can go die in a pit. But I could show off my old fire build I had, featuring Goblin. Then we could do one day of ice. We could do a day of, you know, poison. Just, if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna do this account for the content, I think looking at this build all the time would get a bit tedious. I think if I honestly set up multiple build ideas I've had and multiple builds I've created, it could be a fun little idea. I know that'd be a little further down the line because everything needs to be leveled up, but if I can... Right, we're at the beginning point of an account. It's far easier to maintain that shit as we go along, I think. It's kind of like when you're playing RuneScape, if you start the game using all the different attack types that level up one stat, it's a lot harder to kit them all up, level them all up equally. Whereas if you start the game by using the stab controlled shared XP button, you level up attack, strength and defense exactly in tandem. That's all I'm saying. Why do I keep wanting to make abridged references to RuneScape with this game? Because we were talking about... Oh no, that was in Holocure when I was discussing my old fishing account. Why do I keep making obscure or random, completely senseless RuneScape references? You can't get Addy Simmons. You can't get like Rune Simmies in this game. But you also can't get guild. You can't also have people trim your armor for you, which I'm disappointed about. Spend good money on that trimmed armor. I never did see it again though. They promised they'd give it to me but he swore on Gothic he'd give it back to me and he never did. You think transitional might be hard at any level? Yeah, for some people it's a psychological level. A lot of people have troubles with the surgeries. Some people don't like the tablets. Transition can be all over the place. Even you know about the scam and you've never played RuneScape. That's how infamous it is. You give a guy your armor, he'll trim it for you and then give it back to you. But yes, there'd be a lot of manual farming. If there's anybody that not trying to gatekeep in this statement, by the way, but if there's anybody that understands how much time and effort has to be put into manual farming and amassing a gold pile to level up a unit, it's yours truly. I will say that. That is, of all the things everybody's got a specialty in this game, Mine has to be how to earn money as a free-to-play player. Or, you know, the concepts of theory crafting, maximizing gold earns. That's me. That's the only thing I've really done in this game where I can say I put my stamp on it. Honestly. In a sense. Which even then, all I've done is point out obvious things, so... it's a correctly incorrect statement. Incorrectly correct? Whichever way around it would be. I think it'd be incorrectly correct to make that statement, honestly. So the other big scam on RuneScape Kampf, right? I'm going to educate you a little bit about. I'm going to educate you about RuneScape. So the RuneScape has a PvP area called the Wilderness. There used to be a scam where you, as an experienced player, would tell some lowly sucker, hey, come trade me over here. You used to be able to just freely walk into the wilderness, sit in the trade screen, they'd try and trade you, and then you'd have like 5 mates come along, one-shot the person that's trying to get the stuff from you. It's referred to as luring. Eventually, the scam happened so often with luring people into this wilderness, right? They had to add a trench in the game that runs all the way down the line of the wilderness, so that you literally had to physically click it to cross it. But when you click to cross it, you get a notification that says, you're about to enter the wilderness. It's an area that a lot of people go in to scam others. Are you sure you want to go in? It's like a do you accept the responsibilities of this area you're going to? So it's one of the ways that they tried to cut down on people getting scammed on their accounts. But I will say I've never been one to lure or scam people on RuneScape. Back in the day, I was the person that got scammed, not the one that scams people. I don't like all the nastiness of it. One thing I do remember though is that I did once have a the game pretty much the game notification for the wilderness camp says something like, warning, you're about to step into a high risk area, where player versus player combat is rife. Are you sure you want to take the responsibility and enter this area? So basically there were ways of, yes, they essentially had ways in which to alert as many players as possible to the events that happened in the wilderness. So in short, yes, they basically told you when you were going to get scammed. Of course, you had people that were, you know, intelligently manipulative. So there was some people that could, you know, if you can smooth talk somebody into doing what you want. Yeah, exactly. It's more of a vicarious. It's more of a vicarious warning than it is an actual warning. I think the word I'm looking for is pragmatic. More of a pragmatic warning than anything. But I'm talking years ago. It's been there for a long time now. You're 3 times added on cooldown. Go get them dragons. Hoo woo. Get that bread. Fingers crossed for your successors. May every drop be an L line. Let's spend these gems then. So you reckon that the frozen castle was useless at the beginning? I'm so glad you told me. Let's swap it for the ballista. Of course, stick that MF on flying damage. And then get back to it. Okay, good. We're still clearing Devilhorn 3 even with a slight slideshow. Kampf's suggested goal has been achieved. Let's just waste out the rest of tab. Did I say waste out? I meant productively use tab to enhance our gold procurement means. That's right, that's what I meant. 10k? Woo! So what, your legendary dragon defense is up to 50k? Nice. That's good. Or did you mean... Wait, you're saying ooh 10k because of the wave. Wait, did you say the other day do you reckon we'll get to 10k? I thought you said let's make next stream 1k. Oops. Your bone deficit's 66k. Sheesh. That's damn good. Ah, then I think I misinterpreted your goal before. So I thought you said next time let's go to 1k. We'll get to probably about what? 1200? We're essentially going to double the wave count on this account as a result of today. By the looks of it. Which should be pretty nice. Oh, but then again, I'm just stupid and didn't even think about the fact that you might have typed it wrong, or that you were suggesting it and I misremembered your proposal. So, well, either way, we're there. We're quadruple digits. But I still don't have any good double flat damage lines to show for it. That's all I'm trying to farm for, double damage flat lines. I literally didn't get a single one. Which was just stupid. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, so non-related to actually your farm and bone dragon. We can talk bone dragon. Yeah, we can talk about these things when you come back. You know, I'm just sort of rattling on to myself. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing, regardless of whether or not you're in chat, because that's how streaming works. But I know what I'm trying to say. It just sounds weird when I describe it as such. Slideshow mode, mission failed. Not fire damage one. Don't really care about that. Let's do this. Get a couple of those. And we move. If this is still slideshow mode, I'll probably have to drop down to Demon Horn 2. I'd rather not, but I'm going to take the cop-out route of say, at least we hit the goal. Oh no, it's not that you have to type responses. If you're sort of half here, then I'll sort of say it, because it's not a big deal anyway, really. But I was just going to mention how yesterday I mentioned how I wanted to make a tier list on literal tier list. So I actually managed to get that started today. So I think once we've finished up here, I'll likely be sourcing the images for that, and hopefully either recording it later or getting myself in the good position to record it tomorrow. That's all. Wasn't anything big. I was just what's the term? I was just blabbering on. Nothing changes there then, does it? So hopefully I'll have at least another tier list video due in soon, which is kind of cool, because I haven't done one in a while. Yeah, it's not a tier list on tier list, so it's literally a tier list on tiers, so like crying and stuff. But there is somebody out there. I have seen the video. I haven't seen the full video, but I have seen somebody's made. So there's somebody that dedicates their entire channel to tier lists. They did make a tier list of their own tier lists. That video was wild. So that is already something that exists. But it was a funny video. I wish I could remember who it was, or give the recommendation. But honestly, they had a tier list video of their own tier list that they made, which I think was a great concept for their specific channel. Yeah, it basically is meta, and it's perfect content because it's a self-involved joke, so it works perfectly for what they do. So my respect goes out to them. But yeah, there'll be a special kind of tier video soon. But I'm more sort of making it for my own entertainment as well, really. So, because I do just do this because I enjoy doing it. It's fun, honestly. That's why I like the different kind of videos. That's why I don't like just making, oh, here's another video of the exact same thing again. It's like how for League of Legends you've got like TC Zwag. Big respect to him and what he does, but all the videos are big clickbait title in full capitals. And then you're like, wow, and then you look at it and it's just League of Legends as a gameplay where he does something that's usually meta as it is. It's like in the meta game, or like this is a unique kind of build and this is amazing, and it's just, yeah, that's cool. That's a cool idea. Don't get me wrong, I have respect for the content, it's just funny how it works that way. Why did I start talking about this? I don't know. Honestly, I've zoned out from myself. Yeah. But you know what? I think I'm gonna quickly go source of liquid. How do I do my thing again? Add text. And then I'll say, can you also put it in a box? can't put it in a box. Algerian? Heck yeah, Algerian. But I need to find a better colour. Uh-oh. Wrong window moved. Oh no, I had it in the perfect position. Oh no. I literally had it previously in the perfect position, now I've ruined it. Something like that. And I can't put a box behind it, but you can kind of see what's going on. So yeah, I'm gonna just mute myself right now. And we're back. Where's my getting tea icon? Getting tea. Tea acquired. Okay. That's better. Also, speaking of British moment, the Spiffing Brit would be pleased with my current tea bag selection, as we currently have Yorkshire tea bags. It's like, there's a brand over here which is called like Yorkshire Gold. So he reps, he kind of reps Yorkshire tea, because he initially was just mentioning it because he really enjoyed it, and then they sort of did something to associate themselves with him, and which is really quite cool actually. So it's impressive that Speaking Breath was able to make that happen, but also here the epic time to break the game by doing exactly what the game was doing before I even got back. Did it fail? It did not fail at all. Sweet. That's pretty good. Well, I mean, we could break the game by physically breaking my laptop or whatever, but unfortunately the game would still remain. Unfortunately, we're not in a true game-breaking position now. I was in a really good position in the game, and then I sort of then we waved a bit, and now we're back to probably not truly breaking it. But are we back to Demon Horn 5, or will it now just slideshow mode? Hold on. Whoa, this is the first time I've ever seen this one. Oh, I wonder where it could be. Is it this one? Okay. Oops, I've actually forgot to press the button. I got so entranced by the where's the diamond, I forgot to click the auto button. We'll break my brain before we break the game. That's not difficult though. No. The answer is no. Okay, you know what, game? We came, we saw, you sent us away, we accepted defeat. Oh. Also, when I was helping the Renovant out at the garden centre that we went to also had like a mini like aquarium bit. So he and I were looking at the fishies for like a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. So that was quite nice. I do like neon tetrafish. Neon tetrafish are a wonderful little species, which are ones commonly kept as pets. They're very, very alluring fish. But as usual, there was a few catfish. Like they're not like river catfish, but there's often smaller breeds like zebra catfish or spotted catfish. So they had a couple spotted catfish. So I was content. He was kind of surprised at some of the size of the fish though, because there's some species that really do grow to the size of their environment. Because that's the fun thing about fish. So many species are able to be a lot bigger than what they are in tanks. So every now and then you'll find some that are really big. Also, there was quite a few pufferfish at the place we were at. So we saw quite a few pufferfish, including, I kid you not, there was a species called pygmy pufferfish. I didn't know that you could have, I didn't know there was a pygmy species of pufferfish, but it's really cool, right? They were all the size of the top part of my thumb. And the Renovant was like, why are they all so small? They're all babies. And I said to him, well, that's probably the actual size of them. Because pygmy, of course, is the term given, much like how I was explaining yesterday how reticulated means net-shaped, and it applies to that. Pygmy is the word that's used to describe smaller subspecies of a species. So, like, pygmy hippos are about 20% the size of a full-grown hippo. So, a full-grown pygmy hippo is the equivalent of a juvenile regular hippo. That's why it takes so long for certain species to be classified, because sometimes some juvenile species of some species look similar to the adult versions of others, and you know, similar stuff like that. which is why there's been quite some problems in the past with identifying dinosaurs, because there's been some species where the sizes of the species have been varied so wildly that sometimes you're looking at the wrong species entirely, but because of the age of the fossil in tow, it makes it difficult to actually tell. But yes, they were some seriously small puffers, Camp. Incredibly small. To the point where the size of, as mentioned, it was no bigger than the size of my top part of my thumb. You could literally fit 2 of these pygmy pufferfish in a neon tetrafish. I don't know how much you know about different fish species, but neon tetrafish are not that big. So the fact that the pygmy puffers were that small is really impressive. Are we just going into slideshow mode and failing Damon Horn free? Yes. Did I click that a million times? You know neon tetrafish from Terraria, but not more. Okay. Well, neon tetrafish, if we're talking size, tetrafish are about the size of, if you look at your pinky and take the top ridge of your pinky and the second notch, you know how you've got little like creases in your hands where you bend your fingers, take the top 2 parts of your finger, so like minus the bottom third, that's about the size of a tetrafish. A lot of species there is other forms of tetrafish, but as I say, neon tetrafish are just the most common ones in like fish pet shops and stuff. Just from their overall adaptability as a kept pet fish. Yeah, they're tiny things, but they're really cool. Alright, let's see if we're still in slideshow mode here, or if we're breaking some kind of curse. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there was also one species of puffer where what we were looking at, which was a full-on proper sized puffer. Can't remember what species of it was, but there was a full-size pufferfish. But if you've never looked at a picture of a pufferfish when it's not puffed, you'll notice it's rather different to a full puffed pufferfish, which is really cool, actually. And if you've ever heard of the dish called fugu, fugu is cut pufferfish, and it's one of the most technical foods in the world to create, because the pufferfish has so many poison glands, venom glands in it, from when it looks like a normal fish, well, not puffed. So fugu / cooked / prepared pufferfish, there's so many toxic glands inside a pufferfish that if you don't cut them out, you will die to eating it. People train for about a decade just to be able to begin being able to properly serve fugu. It's one of the most sought after, like, luxury culinary skills. It's very precarious, and of course, even then, there's still no guarantee that what the person that's trying to eat the pufferfish doesn't ingest. So they can still ingest some of the toxins. It's a very, very precarious meal. But I do like when pufferfish aren't puffed, because you do see they've got, like, it looks like they've got little chubby, cutesy little cheeks. So in that sense, it looks kind of cutesy. Most people would just not eat it, yes, that's true. And as somebody that doesn't really enjoy eating any type of fish, I certainly wouldn't be having it. I'm not disagreeing with you at all, Camp. I'm in the not eating that, no way, Jose perspective. I'm just pointing out while we talk about pufferfish. Also, I was talking about how certain fish are able to grow to the environment in which they live in, which is why you can get like massive catfish, like a couple meters long, right? I don't know if you've ever heard, because we were also talking about the ocean the other day. We talked about counter shading on manta rays and how great whites also use it. Have you ever heard of the term deep sea gigantism? Basically, it's a phenomenon how a lot of the real deep sea creatures can become absolutely massive. Like, there's so many, like for instance, the mythology of the Kraken most likely just comes from a real giant Humboldt or colossal squid, one of the two species. And of course, Moby Dick coming from the idea of, although Moby Dick is listed as a white whale, the species would have been a sperm whale. Like, sperm whales and colossal squid are able to get massive. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, another reason why people don't like the idea of the big deep ocean, deep sea gigantism, is just another phenomenon as to why people don't like the idea. There's also, so you know, like you've got the Loch Ness monster, and then you've got Bikini Membe and all other, and like Bigfoot and stuff like that. Well, there's a mythological, I believe there's a mythological giant shark, and I'm not talking like Megalodon. It's meant to be called something like Megamouth, and it's meant to be like 3 times the size of Megalodon, and several more rows of teeth. It's meant to be like this freaking huge, truly colossal thing. It's weird how fish are the birds of the ocean, but not quite. Actually, Kampf, if we're being biologically correct, birds are the fish of the sky. That would be the correct way round. If we're evolutionarily speaking. That was close. Because I'm sure you probably know this, but the primordial soup of the world, which is the term often used to describe the primordial soup, is the term that's expressed to describe the very earliest like life on Earth. So like planktons and zooplanktons and very small single-celled organisms. Well, the primordial soup began in the sea. Back a few billion years ago, there was not much, if any, land on Earth. So it was pretty much all in the water. And then from there, species had evolved to come out of the water. And the first, it's assumed that the first part of the animal kingdom that actually came out from the sea and evolved to be able to walk on land was not fish. It was actually arthropods. The first things on land were proposedly sea scorpions and trilobites and the like. So the fish actually weren't the first things out of the ocean. And then there was a big ramp up of amphibious life in the Devonian period. We came from crab and we returned into crab. Yeah? All things begin and end with crab, clearly. So, no, our ancestry of going back in time does not cross with arthropods at all. We still evolved from fish, but arthropods were a separate line of evolution. They just beat the fish to the land. We went from fish to basically amphibians and reptiles, to mammal-like reptiles, to mammals, to slightly bigger mammals, to apes, to great apes, to Homo erectus. However, with that being said, there was also another species of human referred to as Homo neanderthalis. So, when you've heard of the term Neanderthal, that was like humans, but slightly shorter and slightly, how do I put it? Slightly tankier. Neanderthals were basically just tanky humans. They reckon that there's still, due to interspecies breeding, they reckon that there's still small percentages of Neanderthal in a lot of modern day bloodlines, which is an interesting thought. Yeah, the reason why Homo neanderthalis actually sort of died out is actually because of their relative brain size. They weren't able to adapt themselves well because they didn't understand how to adapt, weirdly enough, despite the fact that they were, for all intents and purposes, another species of human. Because their craniums were so small in comparison, they had like hard heads or whatever, but there wasn't enough brain in there. They were literally durable enough to live within what we refer to as the Ice Age, even though to this day we're still technically in Ice Age because there's still actually no, there's no longer ice at the poles, and there hasn't been for about 60 years. Yeah, we only just from a historical point of view, only just recently come back out of being in an Ice Age. An Ice Age refers to the condition of there being ice at both the North and South Pole. That's what defines an Ice Age. And as there's no, I think it's that there's no ice at the North Pole at the moment, like where the actual position coordinate 000 is. So we're technically no longer classed as being in an Ice Age, but up until about, as I say, about 60, 70 years ago, whatever, we were in an Ice Age. But anyway, back to my main point. When it was considered Ice Age, so, you know, woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, you know, that age of prehistory. So we're talking 15 to 10,000 years ago. That's sort of the end of Homo neanderthalis, about 15 to 10,000 years ago. So they lived at the same time as woolly rhinos and woolly elephants. Also, when people say saber-toothed tiger, no, it was saber-toothed cat. Everybody uses the nomenclature of saber-toothed tiger, but there's never been a true saber-toothed tiger. It's a saber-toothed cat. But of course, this is the very specifics stuff. That's not. It's like the octopuses versus octopi conversation all over again. But yeah, as you can tell, my interest of history is more prehistory, Kampf. So from my many years of watching various dinosaur documentaries and reading dinosaur books and all of that, while I don't retain all of the information I once had, I'm still fairly decent. I would say I still know my stuff, is how I would describe it. I mean, of course there were still saber-toothed cats, as I say, they weren't saber-toothed tigers. It literally didn't exist. So there's a slight discrepancy in there. Also, is this now starting to... Alright. Let's just pump up some of these numbers, shall we? Get this out of the gates. So as you can see from tab just there, we'll probably be live for about another 15 or so minutes. Then I'll be off to do some recording for videos over the next few days. Hopefully. Provided I don't just constantly roll blanks in Slice and Dice or draw really bad cards in Slay the Spire. I'd like to get back on being above 1 day ahead in Slay the Spire. Because I haven't made any video today, and yesterday I recorded today's video. So I would like to get myself back to being ahead. So I'm going to probably spend the next few days trying to boost myself forward, I guess. And again, extra little fun videos like the tier list and stuff like that. A few bits sprinkled in. Okay, this might need to, annoyingly, oh yeah, this, where's the diamond? Yeah, but the thing is, Kampf, is that there's stuff lined up and then there's stuff I've actually got ready to go. There's ideas and concepts, and then there's putting ideas and concepts into reality. And that is wherein the problem currently lies. So I need to get myself sorted out. Part of my problem is that I've not had, I'll be quite frank, I've not truly had the motivation at some points this last couple of weeks. So I need to get myself mentally in the game of just let's push and power through some of the stuff I want to make. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to make anything too much that's, you know, unimpassioned, just like, this is a video because I needed to make a video. I still want to do, like, proper, give things my all. I just, I truly don't feel like I can give things my all when I'm not feeling it, I guess. I know what I mean. Doesn't quite sound the way I want to say it. Moist Critical but boring. I love Critical. He's brilliant. Honestly, a very respectable person within the YouTube community, and I used to love back when most of his stuff was years and years ago. Back when his main videos were literally him purposefully just monotone playing games, and he'd just be like, oh, this is a scary thing, that's cool, okay, I guess that's it, see ya. But Moist Critical was definitely a very revered and respected member of the YouTube community with a lot of good takes, and he's helped a lot of people. He owns I think he owns a agency business actually that helps a lot of content creators. So, you know. I know it sounds like I'm sucking up, but hear me out. He's been on YouTube for a fucking long time. I too have been watching videos since the dawn of time. I used to put videos on YouTube. I could probably still find my stupid Agent 0099 Save the Biscuit video that I had on my old account that I posted about 15 years ago, 16 years ago. So it's not me just being like, oh, suck up. I genuinely enjoy his content. Not that I need to back my own corner here, because it doesn't matter. We can just all agree that he's good. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's not just just because I've started to put videos on here now, my son. No, he's always been cool. I also used to really like so from old content creators back in the day. I'm a little bit disappointed to hear that Tobuscus. I used to love Tobuscus' stuff. Actually, he was a really funny person. I'm so glad. I'm so sorry. No, I meant to say I'm so sad that he's not quite doing as much as he did. He also used to do these brilliant. I loved his. He used to play a lot of game series, and he was just so engaging. And he made a couple of. Oh, how do I describe it? He took trailers of films and games, and he like put them to like songs and stuff, and he made up it was like the literal trailers or something. Really used to enjoy Tobuscus's content. Yeah. I've also been there's some other small, well, I say smaller, but just because Tobuscus had millions of subscribers. I've been a fan of, for instance, Marbazir for. Oh god, Marbazir I've been a fan of since like 2008 or something silly. He's awesome. So there's quite a few content creators that I'm fully aware of from like a long time ago. Is all I'm trying to say. But Marbazir is a strategy person, so he plays a lot of XCOM and stuff. And as I say, Tobuscus' content was really good, like literal singing stuff. Also, you might have heard of the Terrorizer. He used to make a series called what was it? It was called. It was basically auto-tuned sung while playing Call of Duty. Can't remember what the series was called, but it was brilliant. Anyway, I was one of the. You never heard of the Terrorizer? Oh, he's in with Vanos. They're like a massive group of people together, like Dahiti did Nogla and all of that. But I actually was. I was back when he used to. Back when he was really quite a small content creator. He used to be quite interactive on Facebook. I hate to admit that I use Facebook, but I used to use Facebook quite a lot. I followed him on Facebook, and there was for one of his things he was talking about. He asked everybody, "I'm gonna do. What do you want me to do as part of the songs for the next episode?" And I said, because I was really into the song at the time, I said, "Oh, can you do Coldplay by Fix You?" He fucking did. And I still take credit for that one to this day. He actually me and him used to chat to each other in private messages as well. He used to. It was back when he used to work part time at a bank and he used to play football with his mates on the weekends while he was in college. For some reason, that's just messages I remember from a long time ago. Long time ago. But that's real old stuff. I really want. Now I've mentioned it, I really want to go back and watch the Terrorizer's old Call of Duty auto-tune. I really wish I could remember what they were called. I'd have to try and find it again, but I really loved listening to I think after a while the gimmick got a bit caught on and everybody else started to replicate it and it ruined the magic. But back when Terrorizer/Brian was the only one doing it, it was a really, really engaging kind of content. It actually kind of revolutionary at the time, honestly. So, who knows, maybe I'll check that later. And I mean, I can still remember when PewDiePie was, I remember watching PewDiePie's 10k subscriber special video. Back when he literally did a lot of, He used to do a lot of Happy Wheels. So it was his Amnesia stuff was still running at the time, I believe, or it was just finished. So a lot of people with Fresh talk about his Amnesia run with just the trophy called Stephen or whatever, and Mr. Chair and stuff. So his 10k video, 10k subscriber special was like talking about the Happy Wheel stuff and the Amnesia stuff. Now look at him. He's the biggest content creator on the platform. It's insane. But yeah, that's the life cycle of content. It's like how, at the moment, on YouTube, I don't begrudge this at all, so don't take my words for this as such. We're currently in the phase of everyone is a VTuber. There's so many VTubers from all sorts of companies and independents and everything else. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm once again stressing, I love VTubers and the VTuber community. Awesome. But there's so much now, it's crazy. That's where we're currently sitting at. And then, really nowadays, a lot of my YouTube content is watching what my nephews watch. So, you could say I've become quite familiar with LankyBox. These two guys that use lit as their primary adjective for anything that's going to be called, it's lit. They have a video, they've got a tier list video that we were watching. They literally use litter and littest as adjectives. And I'm just like, wow, they're giving it their all. That's for sure. As long as the kit, as long as it's entertaining and engaging, they're on it. And I think they have. I've seen a few bits for LankyBox out and about now actually. They have like plushies and stuff. That's like out in like Smith's toy stores and places like that, like actual UK chains. So it's crazy what the. I guess my point that I'm trying to point out is that it's crazy what online presence can procure nowadays. I think is what I'm trying to say. Because we're now, especially since COVID, we're at a time where there's been a lot of influence from people online. And it's just this big ball of just, you know, bleh. Don't get me wrong. As somebody who's fairly introverted, I like it this way. We got some gems to spend. I know I've only got a couple minutes left, but you know what? Let's do it anyway. Now, if this doesn't scream anime ending for like a little rom-com anime, I don't know what does. Or it's like the ending of like a really violent anime. Oh yeah, we need to get all the lab monster weaknesses. We've not got any monster lab weaknesses yet. I've just been sitting there building it up so that we have the capacity to buy the. Because with the monster lab, we still need to get X amount of kills to get the upgrades, don't we? That's part of the. That's why I was sort of ignoring it while I was just divvying out the gems just then. Yeah, there's a lot more upgrades we can get anyway. Still need to get like the poison slingers line for when we do the poison build, and I need to get the mad giants line for infinite colonies and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's all progress. This is an account with fuck all going on, so the less of that we got going on, the better. As in, the more stuff we do, everything is progress, I think is what I'm trying to say. Quite honestly. You have to worry about that with dungeon bosses. Yeah. They take forever to get the Monster Lab stuff with. Just because, of course, you only get one per time you do it. And you don't always get the ones you want to do for the Monster Lab. So it's a bit of an undesirable situation. Looks like it's either this one or the next one that's going to be the last one for Tab. You know what? Should we call it at a flat 1200 though? I'll get to wave 1201 because I want to be able to use replay mode on wave 1200. I'm testing some things. Yeah, I think on my main account I've got all the beginner and intermediate ones done, and I'm just missing the high one. But my dungeon spelunking, my Dungeons and Dragons build isn't quite up to snuff yet. Also, did that say auto battle -9? It did. Okay. So let's colony gold increase. I think I've got all the intermediate ones, or I'm missing one. You know what? I'll check while we're here. But yes, I think we'll end this today at 1201 Kampf, if I'm honest, so that I can do what I want to test out. Just so that I know for a fact I'm not waving without you guys. I want to stop at either something that ends in 6 or something that ends in 1. Because replay mode allows you to play literally the one before the one you're at. So if I make it 1201, I can then replay 1200. I have not got the... Oh, I can do the flying dude. I just haven't done it yet. So I've got all the intermediate ones. I just haven't got any of the... My intermediate defense is poor, Kampf. It's 4,900. Oh wait, what's the little mage lady? 10%. Hold on. I don't think she appears in the... Oh yeah, she does. Okay. Right, I can put something on her. It's not the highest upgrades, but I can put... Yeah, I don't have all of the highest upgrades for all of them, but I have at least crit chance. So I'll put on crit chance on a few for now. So I've still got something on them. That sounds like a cop-out of what I'm saying. I know you're saying you haven't got all the end parts. So, in that regards, I think I'm missing quite a few end bits. 7250 on intermediate. Nice. You double me, just about. It's literally like 4950 or something. So, double me, buddy. That's the thing. I feel like we always talk about the dragons because we get like dragon defense of like hundreds of thousands, and then dungeons we're like, yeah, my defense is 100. Doesn't it just feel like more boring to farm the dungeons? I think they gave the bosses too many hit points. All of the dungeon bosses seem to have about 5. They've got like a fifth of the attack of the dragons, but they've got like 5 times the health, and it just feels like a slog. I don't know if that's just my thoughts though. So this one should be the one that says 1201. I'll test it to make sure that I can see. I only just realised. If I didn't realise, I would have gone to another arbitrary point. 35,000 for beginner dungeon. Wow. That's insane. I'm rounding up, by the way. I'm ignoring the... That's insane. So you've done like 7,000 of them. Ooh. That's incredible, honestly. Yep, so now you see, because what I was doing when I wasn't getting much dragon luck, because I still wanted to earn gems, when I hit replay, this is just so you can see roughly what I've been doing in the background. Because we all forget about, myself included, we all forget about replay mode. I bet you, like Laku, probably wrote it off in a video and went, don't use this, it's crap, and then everybody ignored it since. To be fair, Laku does tend to be someone who knows what they're talking about for the most part, so it's understandable. With beginner dungeons, my loadout, literally I don't have to touch anything and it will just clear. So I get what you mean about the beginner dungeons. But I still feel like even the beginner dungeon boss just has too much hit points. So we go, that's just part of what I've been doing all this time. And then that, this time for instance, nets me 0.5 mil. So in about the same amount of time, yeah, it is crap, but I want to do my best to keep this account from not waving when I'm not streaming. I'm trying to keep the caveat as close to the button as I can, Kampf, and that's why. I know it's shitty arbitrage on my end to declare that, but I don't know. That's just how I've been doing it, honestly. Also, I've had to do that because the red dragon has been difficult for me to kill post, you know, a 1500 total defense. I had to stop for a while when I got to about 400 here. But oh yeah, it's not the best thing in the world, like you say. You wanna just progress through normal waves, get quicker progress. But as I say, it's not even about this account being a challenge. It's just more about I only want the meat and potatoes of the content to be presentable. Asterisk, except from the triple the amount of hours on stream that I spend collecting all the accessories and leveling up the troops and getting extra gems, etc, etc. But yeah, I think that's where we should leave it for now. I'm at a perfect wave right now for me to be able to do my stuff in the background. I'm gonna get the F out of H. I'm gonna go do my own thing for a little while. Whether I'm back later on this evening, I think there's about a 2%. I think it's about a 5% chance I come back on and live stream later. I think I just want to try get a bit of recording done, and then just play Grow Castle till I go to sleep, kind of thing, on my actual account, not on this one. So I think that's where we're leaving it for today. Thanks as always, Kampf. You're a legend, and to everyone else that stopped by, thank you very much. Peace out. See you soon. Much love. Kisses.